The Denver Broncos are ready to play the Houston Texans. They just wrapped up their entire week of practice leading up to this game, and we got all the updates for you. A big-time injury report for the Broncos. Dre Greenlaw spoke to the media for the first time since his suspension. He's back, and then you will not want to miss what J.K. Dobbins had to say about being a Bronco. Henry, let's dive in. The injury report, one of the longest ones the Broncos have had in a long time, and it's still not as long as some other teams, but Henry, some big names on here, starting with Pat Surtain. He officially will not play, and it's not a surprise. We knew this coming out of the game on Sunday. We knew it on Monday that he's going to miss multiple weeks, but he did officially not practice this entire week.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it coming. We knew it was going to happen. You hope you get him back soon, but you've got Chris Abrams-Draine, who I think is ready for the opportunity.
Yep, and Sean doesn't want to tip his hand just to who is going to play that position. Could be Jahdae Barron, could be Chris Abrams-Draine. Like you said, it will be Chris Abrams-Draine. Not fooling anyone. Expect to see number 31 on the outside. We will see Jahdae Barron maybe a little more this week. Maybe he plays a little bit outside, but I do think it's going to be Chris Abrams-Draine on the outside. Henry, like we found out this week, he's got the best hands on the team, according to Sean Payton. Some of the receivers, Pat Bryant might push back a little bit on that, but maybe he comes up with a big play against C.J. Stroud to help this Broncos team, especially with the Houston Texans' really good defense. Points are going to be tough to come by. The defense might actually be able to help the Broncos offense by getting a turnover or two. Another guy on the injury report, Marvin Mims. Henry, he suffered a concussion in an extremely unfortunate way. We'll get to that in a second, but he is also not going to play this week. Two All-Pros for the Broncos, Pat Surtain and Marvin Mims, not playing.
Yeah, tough not having Marvin. You like him as a receiver, obviously, but losing him as a kick returner, punt returner more specifically, creates some issues. We saw Riley Moss sub in during the last game. He didn't return the punt, though. He was just out there for the fair catch. Now, could he be out there for the fair catch again this week? Absolutely. Could he return some punts? Maybe. But are you willing to risk the injury given that you're already down one of your starting corners?
That's a really good point.
Yeah, so I don't know who is going to wind up taking that job. I wouldn't be surprised if Michael Bandy gets the elevation. Then he's the guy, because there just isn't anybody else who's really returned punts for the Broncos before. You know, Tyler Bidet has returned kicks. R.J. Harvey's returned kicks. Even Troy Franklin preseason returned kicks. Haven't seen him return a punt. So I'm not sure how that's going to shake out, but it does leave the Broncos in a bit of a tricky spot, because you know Sean doesn't want to just take the fair catch every time.
Yeah, well, and it's a really good point. You mentioned the kick return. That's actually where Marvin Mims got his concussion and suffered it, and it shouldn't have happened, because it happened when there was 4:41 left and the Broncos beating the Cowboys big time, 44-24 at that point in the game. And Henry, Marvin Mims, because the Broncos were up so much, was not supposed to be in, but the substitution went wrong. So the other kick returner was substituted. Marvin was in the game. He caught it. He got a concussion on that play. That's been a big talking point out here at Broncos throughout the week. Sean Payton said it was a miscommunication with the special teams. Well, we asked the special teams coordinator, Darren Rizzi, about that, and he said, I don't want to talk about substitutions. I'll let Sean handle that. So a little defensiveness coming from there, a little kind of covering up what exactly happened. Darren Rizzi said that's for an advantage to not give other teams a know-how on how they do substitutions on kickoff, but clearly a big error there. Then Sean Payton was asked about it today and really did not want to get into specifics. In fact, he told the reporter, next question, actually, next good question. So they want to bury that one in the past, obviously, because it's a big deal not having Marvin Mims. And Henry, one other guy, and I'm sorry, this one's going to break your heart the most, Nate Atkins, not playing this week either.
I mean, football's a game that's meant for big guys who are out there pushing each other around. You know, everybody gets excited about the speed and throwing the ball, but it all comes down to what happens in the trenches, and Nate Atkins is your best blocking tight end. All these runs to the boundary that have been working, R.J. Harvey's touchdowns. Nate Atkins is such a huge part of all of that. Now, you bring in Mercedes Lewis to take that role over for however long Nate Atkins is out.
Big dog.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see what he looks like in his first game after not playing football since the end of last season. You know, as he said, the mental stuff he feels like is there, but it's the physicality, not going through a training camp for the first time in his career, that is going to be a little bit interesting. We were just thrown in there for the first time.
Yeah, and Sean Payton today said Mercedes Lewis absolutely has looked good enough this week to play. I think we both expect Mercedes Lewis, number 89, to play for the Broncos and become the oldest tight end in NFL history to play a game at 41 years old. Sean Payton has coached 2 players who have played in their 20th season like Mercedes Lewis is doing. Mercedes Lewis is one of them. You know who the second one is?
I'll go Drew Brees.
Drew Brees. You hit it on the head right there.
Vinny Testaverde?
No, just those 2.
Oh,
yeah,
that's the second.
Two
okay.
guys. Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
Counting
easy.
can be a little difficult, but 1, 2, you got it. Speaking of a guy that we will see this week, enough with who we won't see. Who we will see, Dre Greenlaw is back from his suspension. He practiced full all week. Of course, he missed the first couple of games of the season due to a quad injury. Then he played 21 snaps in his first game back, was suspended for yelling and threatening, according to what the NFL said, an official after that game. So he missed last week. And Henry, we talked to him for the first time from that suspension this week, and he took all the blame on himself. He said, I shouldn't have put my team and my teammates in that position there. But then he was asked what the NFL told him, and he said, the NFL didn't tell me anything. We tried to show him the clips in our appeal, and they did not tell me why I was suspended. So clearly frustrated there. I know Broncos country is very frustrated, but he's back. Don't have to worry about it. He is back. I asked Sean Payton today if there's a snap count for him or if he's going to be full go, and Sean said, we'll have a plan. We'll have a plan, but didn't want to reveal the plan.
Yeah, I mean, we'd all assumed that there was a plan, right? Like, that's kind of the whole sport, is you have plans. Of course, he wasn't going to share that, just like he didn't share how much Jahdae Barron's going to play, how much Chris Abrams-Drain's going to play. There are a lot of those things that make sense to keep secret.
Dre Greenlaw did say, though, he said he can go all day after having last week off.
Yeah, he's not a doctor, just to be clear. He's a linebacker. But, I mean, it's good for him that he feels good. There is a Dr. Dre.
There is a Dr. Dre, and like you said, it is good that he feels good. And the final point that we want to get to before this Broncos-Texans game, the beloved J.K. Dobbins also spoke with us this week. And man, if you didn't think you could love J.K. Dobbins even more, well, he did it this week. He says he wants to be a Bronco for the rest of his career.
Yeah, and good for him. I mean, he's a man who wants a home, right? Like, that's been his entire NFL career. He's kind of just not really found his footing. Over the course of the last 5 years he's been in the NFL, I think played 37 games. Is that right? Something like that. I think 37 is the number. It's very few games given the amount of time he's played. But yeah, he's playing well now. Hopefully he keeps it up. And if he does, then there's no reason for the Broncos to move on from him. But, you know, you've hit the 8-game mark. Can you get to the 16, 17-game mark? Can you stay healthy through the playoffs and productive? And if he does that, there's no reason he can't be here for a while.
Make sure to hit us with a like, subscribe, because JK also just went on and got more in the hearts of Broncos country. When asked about the Chargers, he said, I don't want to talk about them because the Chargers played the Texans in the playoffs last year. Chargers obviously got killed. He was on the Chargers team. He said, I don't want to talk about the Chargers. That's, man, after Broncos country's heart right there. He has not had contract extension talks with the Broncos yet, but like you said, Broncos and JK might be waiting until further into the season to have those talks. And JK also said he has a special bond with Broncos country. I'm ready to sign sign the deal for JK. It's not my money, but I'm ready to sign the deal for JK. He's the third leading rusher in the NFL, and he wants to become the #1 leading rusher. He knows who's above him. Jonathan Taylor's #1. James Cook, who's his good friend, is #2. He wants to jump both of those guys, and I'll tell you what, if he ends the season as the #1 leading rusher in the NFL, oh my goodness, this is going to mean great things for the Broncos. The Broncos, last time they went into Houston, Henry, they were on a 5-game win streak. That's the last 5-game win streak they had. Obviously, we know how that game ended. That was with the Russell Wilson throwing to Lucas Kroll in the back of the end zone. That win streak
why are we
was
doing
snapped.
this?
Because I got a good one for you. We're ending. That was the trick. Here's the treat for you on this Halloween. The last time the Broncos had a 6-game win streak, 2015 when they won Super Bowl 50. So we're ending on the good vibes. Make sure to hit us with the thumbs up, like, subscribe, and we'll see you for the Broncos-Texans game.